Big news, terrible news this morning. The sky is falling. I can't believe it, you guys. Price cuts have been announced in China. This is so scary. Fortunately, I got Randy Kirk here to talk me down from the ledge. We'll see if he can get the job done. I'm Brian. Welcome to my Tesla Weekend. Randy, how are you?
I'm doing fine. How is the ledge?
Oh, it's so narrow. I did want to say a quick thanks to newest patron Keith on Patreon and to all my gracious patrons who keep me going with Twitter subscriptions and YouTube memberships and all that. It's how I'm able to keep going, in addition to having folks like Randy who've got my back and can help me out. Price cuts in China. What's going on?
Well, I was a little shocked for a minute. Do you know that even barons came out just a little while ago and said, it's a bunch of nothing? Shocking.
Even they said
barons. Shocking for barons to recognize that it didn't matter very much, but B, to report on it.
That is surprising. Now, but a big, if we're taking, it's about $2,000, the price cut on only the long range and I think performance models. Is that right?
You've got me there. I thought it was only the long range, but maybe it is also the performance.
But it's not on all the models. It's not even on all the Model Ys. It's only on select models.
Right.
But if we're taking $2,000 off, surely that's going to go straight to the bottom line. That's going to be a problem.
Yeah, but it's true, but don't call me Shirley.
Oh. A big building full of sick people, but that's not important right now. We've got bigger issues, Randy.
Okay, all right.
Why is this not a big deal?
Let's pull it apart. First of all, the total, according to Gary Black, I did not check his numbers. I'm taking them, I believe him, okay? The total number of the production in China that we're talking about is 18% that's going to be affected. Now, that's production. That is not shipments, because a big portion of that 18% ain't staying in China. So it's not going to be affected by the price cut. So it's going to Australia or South Korea, or it's going to down to Singapore, or it's going Malaysia, all these different ports now, because this is the export location. So that's not going to be, those are not affected by the price cut. So it's way less than 18% that are affected by the price cut. Now, here's what I will say that's a little nerve-wracking, okay? I've been reporting a lot about China. In fact, that's what I'm reporting on almost all this week on my channel. It's all about China and its neighbors and everything else, and why India, etc. And one of the reasons why everybody is looking at India, everybody's looking at Malaysia, everybody's looking at even Vietnam as another place to manufacture is because China's got some problems. Okay, and so what are we going to do about what are the problems? Well, their economy's in trouble. One of their big real estate organizations has to come up with a bunch of money by Friday, or they're going to be insolvent, but huge money. We know that the real estate thing is just collapsing, and the Chinese middle class basically only has one place they can invest their money and make more than interest, and that is in real estate. Well, they've been doing this for the last 20 years because the government said this is what you should do, and now that middle class is having their wealth cut in half. So the very folks who could afford the performance version, long range, whichever one it was, the very folks that can afford the expensive version are the ones who would be most affected by this wealth drop. Now, do I think that happening this weekend caused Tesla to make a change in their pricing on their more expensive car? Maybe it was part of the reason. Zeekr also dropped their price on their most expensive car quite substantially, and that's a very popular car in China. So that could have been a part of the effect. More than anything, we know that Tesla just has the data. And so if they see that the expensive car is starting to have a little bit of softness in China, they would drop the price, because where else? Why wouldn't they, on the most expensive one with the most margins, why wouldn't they cut that one? So long story short, and with a little addendum, one cut, not worried. Now,
Yeah.
If it's a process, if we start to see multiples, a little more exciting, if you will.
So, but if they drop 2,000, then they have no margin. Is that right? Or they're upside down? That's correct, isn't it?
Well, not on the high margin items. So when you get into the ones that they're charging all this, we all understand that. In fact, I shouldn't tell any more water bottle stories, should I? We had two sizes. We had a small one and a tall one. And on the small one, it was, everybody was fighting over that price point. But on the tall one, we could charge whatever we wanted to. So we made way more money. Same situation with Tesla. They make way more money on their long range and performance than they do on their base model. So again, if they want to cut something, we're always happier to see them cut on the higher price models.
And they do still have margin. I mean, Tesla runs 18% margins. This is about a 5% discount. It's not. No, 2,000 on 43,000. Yeah, it's about 5%. So they still have the margin to work with. There's no reason to believe that their cost to manufacture has gone up or even stayed the same in this quarter. There are always new efficiencies being eked out. Now, you were talking about updating pricing and knowing data. Now, I know with legacy guys, they set the price at the beginning of the year when the new model comes out. How does Tesla set the price?
Daily, like you would at a hotel room, or other kinds of railroad tickets or airplane tickets. They're set. They can even set it minute by minute. I doubt whether they do that much fine tuning, but they can certainly set it day by day, week by week, based on what's happening in the showroom. Now, there was reporting already out of the Chinese showrooms that the showrooms were filled up on Sunday based on the cuts, and people were coming in because of it. So sometimes, I don't know, this might come as a shock to everybody in your audience. Sometimes companies will cut the price on one product just to fill up the showroom. It's called a weekend sale. It's called, we see it all the time. Come on in and get, this grocery stores, doesn't matter. Everybody does it. I've certainly been doing it with my clients and my own businesses for the last 50 or so years.
If those showrooms are filling up, not all of those people are going to buy a long-range Model Y. Some will buy perhaps S or X, but most will probably buy a standard range or maybe even a Model 3 for which we haven't seen the same kind of discounts applied. So that is an interesting demand lever to just get people in the door, and maybe they still can't afford the long range. They go for the standard range instead. All of those are valuable bits of consideration when looking at this. So just to be clear, this means the company is doomed, you said, or
yeah, doomed, absolutely doomed. Again, now I'm not a stock analyst. This is not this is not investment advice. But from a stock standpoint, as I look at it, the question I'm asking myself is, do we see any more? Does this become a trend? Does anybody respond to it in the Chinese market or elsewhere? Does Tesla then cut again or cut the base model, et cetera, et cetera? Now that becomes something that we would have a different kind of conversation about. It may still not be scary, but it might be at least something that is more of a long-term issue. In this particular case, 2 weeks from now, they could raise the price back up again after they get what they want out of it.
Now, I looked this morning to see what available inventory was in the U.S. for the brand new, on the showroom floor Mach-E's. And according to Auto Trader, how many Mach-E's do you think are available for sale at this moment, brand new?
More than 12.
12,000.
12,000.
It is more than 12,000. ID4, there are in excess of 8,000 in inventory. These have seen some price cuts as well, and they are not moving. So the notion that demand is an issue unique to Tesla is ludicrous. And the other thing to remember is the factories keep increasing production. Model Ys used to be exported heavily to Europe, they're not being exported to Europe anymore. They've got their own factory. Now, there might still be one version that is. I don't recall offhand. I don't know if Berlin is making all the variants just yet. But the idea is, as the factories continue increasing output, you do have to lower prices. This was part of the plan all along. This isn't some new... I had a guy on Twitter, on X yesterday say, oh, wow, look at these price cuts. You guys are... No, this is expected. This is part of the cost/demand curve. We kind of knew this was happening all along.
Well, and of course, Elon's very famous statement. It's like, it's not about what we sell it for now. It's about what kind of software as a service we can sell them later, as in, I don't know, FSD.
Well, look at General Motors, who's still very big.
Right.
And if you look at the profit they made last quarter, very good, very respectable number, same as Tesla's. So Tesla has room to work with their margins, but they can't increase supply as easily as they can reduce costs.
Right.
So it's a balancing act, and they're doing a pretty good job of it. And guys, in the comments, what did we miss? What did we misunderstand? I just found out, for I have just now learned, Randy Kirk also has a channel. So apparently you should check him out. See if he's got some videos over there. I don't know. Apparently he's got 817 or something. Something like that. It is an outrageous number. But he manages to keep the quality high. So what did we miss? What did we misunderstand? Leave it. Leave it in the comments below. Stay tuned. Stay juicy. Can't wait to hear from you, clever robots, on the next one.